releasing his updated budget today, laying out his priorities for the state. But he also revealed that California faces a deficit of more than $30 billion. Fox 40 Capitol reporter Eitan Wallace joining us now live from the state capitol with a look at the budget and how the governor plans to close that gap. Eitan.
Indeed, Nikki, and here it is. This is the governor's updated budget summary, all 132 pages of it. Now, the governor says this budget will benefit Californians, but he acknowledges it comes with a multi-billion-dollar deficit that could lead to tough decisions ahead. Governor Gavin Newsom receiving applause today as he officially presented his updated state budget for the next fiscal year. A budget worth more than $306 billion, but one that also includes a deficit of about $32 billion.
We are walking into a budget where we need to maintain our prudence, and we need to prepare not just for the short term, but the medium and long term.
Newsom says the deficit increased by more than $9 billion since his initial budget presentation in January due to factors outside of California involving the national economy. As interest rates increase and inflation stays high, California's top earners who provide nearly half the income tax revenue for the state have raked in less money. Less money for them means less tax revenue for California.
This was not an easy budget.
To close the deficit, Newsom put forth several proposals, including new efforts to borrow money, a call to delay spending on some projects, including the Foreclosure Intervention Housing Prevention Program, more than $3 billion in what's known as trigger cuts, meaning cuts that could happen if the economy does not improve, and then a proposal for actual cuts, including reductions to a small portion of the middle-class tax refund program and a reversion of unspent funds within the CalWORKS Public Assistance Program. Should trigger cuts go into effect, they would target some environmental and transit programs. Newsom says for now, he will not dip into the state's $37+ billion of reserves. And as for whether he's considering raising taxes to offset possible cuts,
I do not think it's the right time to raise taxes, and I was crystal clear on that.
Challenges aside, Newsom vows this budget will make strong investments to address some of the state's most pressing matters, including homelessness.
Address the issue of cleaning up these damn encampments. $750 million just in that space.
Another $127 billion will go toward K-12 public school funding.
Unprecedented and historic per pupil investments.
And then there's $500 million for flood control amid this winter's record storms.
Keeping them safe from floods. We do recognize the immediacy situationally.
And speaking of those storm emergencies, they resulted in the government pushing back the tax deadline to October for millions of Californians, meaning the state will not know its total revenues until then. Republicans say that's why it's crucial as the governor begins to negotiate his budget with the legislature, he makes sure the state spends only within its means.
These things require us to be fiscally responsible, and we need real fiscal responsibility, not rhetoric. The fact that the governor's own budget continues to overspend, creating structural deficits into the future, is proof that this budget proposal is not fiscally responsible.
Okay, so what happens next? Well, here's what happens next. The governor has until June 15th to negotiate and work on this budget with members of the legislature. They can negotiate it, they can work it, they can add in some edits. Now, here's the interesting thing, Nikki and Eric. If lawmakers fail to pass a balanced budget by June 15th, they will not get paid. Reporting live at the state capitol, covering local news that matters, Eitan Wallace, Fox 40 News.
Yeah, we know the pressure is on Eitan because lawmakers want that paycheck, but I want to hone in on a couple of phrases that you said, negotiate with the legislature, because that's key here. And we are seeing times of surplus. It's celebratory. We see press conferences and California's booming, but now everyone's tightening purse strings. So what is legislative leadership? What's their reaction to the governor's May revise?
Great question. Well, perhaps to no surprise, Republicans say this is a budget that overspends. In fact, Assembly Minority Leader James Gallagher called it a reckless budget. But on the Democratic side, well, you have Senate President Pro Tempore Toni Atkins. She was a little bit more hopeful. She said California is strong, but she also acknowledged California is not receiving the revenue that it had anticipated. And on the Assembly side, well, Assembly Speaker Anthony Rendon said that the budget is progressive and that he supports it. But he also mentioned in his statement that he really wants to ensure transportation and transit projects are funded. So he made clear because there's a lot of concern there that some of those cuts and trigger cuts could impact transportation across the board. Speaker Rendon clearly saying as these negotiations happen, he will not want that. Nikki?
Yeah, especially those state lawmakers in the Bay Area. They don't want to see transportation cuts either. Our Eitan Wallace breaking down the May revise for us. Eitan, thank you so much.